Visits to a lower level side in the Welsh Cup, Craig, are always a difficult challenge, and that was no different this past weekend when we visited Mold Alexandra.
Yeah, not at all. It was exactly what we thought. We've had experience of that in the past. A couple of years ago, we had to go to penalties against Chirk. It was very similar. It is what it is. The level is what the level. As in talking about the pitch, it obviously wasn't fantastic. It's narrow, it's bobbly. There was a lot of grass on it. It was very long, should I say? And it was a tough challenge, but we expected that. It's nothing less than I expected, to be honest. And I thought the lads done really well, considering we made 10 changes and some of them lads had not played any minutes for a long time. Brilliant. That's first Jordan Marshall's first 90 minutes this season, JD's first 90 minutes for 7-8 months, or should I say 70 minutes, and most of them lads, apart from Ben Clark, hadn't played the week before. So yeah, it was really pleased with the professionalism, the attitude that the lads went about in the, they dealt with the really tough circumstances and something that we're not familiar with. And now I thought they were really good.
And the 2-1 victory also means that the defence of our treble continues.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, and it's really, really important. That we defend it right till the end. Ideally, we'd like to, win it again this year. It's something that we talk about each year. We talk about winning the league, getting as far as we can in Europe, and then winning the Welsh Cup and winning the Nathaniel Cup. So it's something that's high up on our agenda. And it will be, for the length of time. Certainly, I'm at the football club because it's a historic tournament and trophy, and it's something that we take highly seriously. And I think the players showed that on Saturday by their performance.
While we wait for the third round draw on Thursday, we turn our attention back to league football. It's a trip to Llanelli Town this weekend, and it goes without saying that after that 6-2 win in the last league fixture, you'll be looking for more of the same this time around.
Yeah, of course we will. We're looking at top versus bottom, but we know, as in, Britain Ferry at the start of the season, I think Britain Ferry come here and beat us, comfortable scoreline. In Britain Ferry only stayed up by a couple of points last year, so we can't take anything for granted. Llanelli have picked some results up between then. They've won 3 or 4 between then. They had a fantastic result on Friday night against Haverfordwest. Haverfordwest had hit a bit of form, and had some really good performances. Then, to beat them 3-0 in the Welsh Cup was I'm not saying it was a huge shock, but Haverfordwest were in good form as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Friday night, having myself been down at Llanelli for quite a while, it's historically probably been the best pitch in the league for a long time. And when all the way back to when Peter Nicholas was manager, remember that, and there was a lot of experienced players there, and I think it was 2 or 3 seasons before I come to TNS that they won the league as well. So we know they're a big club in South Wales, and Lee John's done a fantastic job, and I think a lot of people might have thought they'd be dead and buried after the start of the season they had, but they've clung on, got some results, and I'm sure they'll be looking to try and get a result against us on Friday night.
We have faced Llanelli once already this season, a 6-0 victory here at Parkhall back in September. Are you expecting a similar sort of game, or do you think Llanelli will bring a different challenge this time around?
Yeah, I think we've got to look at each individual game as they come. Obviously, you take things out of the game and you look back at the game and maybe the strategy or the plan they had against us, because a lot of teams play a lot different against us to what they do week in, week out. So you've got to look back at that, which we have done and we will do as coach and staff. But again, we've got to make sure we want to go and play our game. Like I said, the surface will be good. The pitch is always fantastic down there. They've took a lot of pride in that. Wasn't so long ago the Wales C played their game there, so it just shows how good of a venue it is, and I think the whole club at Llanelli are very proud of the surface there and the facilities, etc. They certainly are a Welsh Premier League club, all that. So it's one we're looking forward to. But like I said, on the flip side, there'd be no taking off the pedal. We obviously we are the champions. We are the ones that Llanelli be going into it as the underdogs, because you look at it in first versus bottom, but that means nothing on a one-off game, as like I've referred to earlier, that we know had our backsides bitten at the start of the season with Britain Ferry.
Well, we do go into Friday's game on the back of 10 consecutive victories in all competitions. Something that managers, head coaches always want to see from their players is consistency, and you've certainly got that in abundance at the moment.
Yeah, we're in a good vein of form, you know, and we need to make sure we keep that. And the only way we keep that is keeping our standards high, no complacency, working every day on the training pitch and trying to improve and making sure the standards are really high in training, and the competition for places is high. And at this moment in time, it is. And you know, the players that are playing well. The players that aren't in the team or in the squad are training well. So you know, we've got a real high level of competition, which I think is really key to having a successful team. So you know, the importance is that, you know, we train 3-4 times a week. That standard is high, and you get the outcome on the match day.
You've mentioned Stevenheath Park isn't a ground we visit very often. No trips down there since 2018, in fact. Have you got any memories, though, Craig, of your previous visits there with the club in your previous stint?
Just that the facility was always good and the pitch was always good. You know, I remember probably back the last time I would have been involved, I think Rhys Griffiths would have been playing centre forward. And like I say, Peter Nicholas and Andy Legg were managers at the time. So apart from that, then, you know, always remembered that, like I say, as a club, they took pride in their facilities and they took pride in the condition of the pitch. And, you know, and it's a one that is proved that by hosting international games there.
And finally, Craig, what's the injury and availability situation looking like as we head into the game on Friday?
Yeah, Ben Wilson's probably a week short. Ben will be he's back on the pitch training, but you know he start training fully with the team probably Friday. So we're probably a day or two short of Ben being involved. But apart from that, then everyone's fit. There's no one injured now, so everyone's chomping at the bit. The competition, as I referred to earlier, is really high. Training's been really good and competitive. So we just got to make sure we keep that bubbling and then have a competitive match day, which we have done at this moment in time. But yeah, I thought the lads on Saturday, you know, done well considering not playing any games. It was tricky conditions. Then yeah, as a squad, we're in a really good place at this moment in time. But there's no room for complacency.